Uh, can you hear me, Professor Doshi? With your permission. So once again, good morning, all participants. We are now in the 6th day of this FDP on Industry 4.0. I welcome Honorable Professor Dr. Sarang Joshi, a very senior professor at PICT Pune. On behalf of our institute, once again, welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
As you are all knowing, Professor Sarang Joshi took our first session on the role of AI and ML in Industry 4.0. I had requested him in the last month to uh, take one more session to present some consolidatory type of things in on the last day, and he happily agreed. And the title has been suggested by Professor Joshi himself, and he would be taking the session today on Industry 4.0, Inception, Conception, and Perception. So uh, I request Honorable Professor Joshi to start his session. Over to you, Professor Joshi.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all, one and all. So it is my pleasure to be with you for this FDP. And then first session we conducted was regarding mainly regarding the role of AI in Industry 4. And then basically we really understood that how this system is evolving and changing, both things. So last time there was question that what about the employability? I think I answered that question, but then I thought of again, and then see, whenever system evolves, whenever system changes, it is necessary for employees and workers to evolve and change as well. Okay. So now, if we go back maybe multiple thousand years ago, then there used to be carts. Okay, maybe bullock carts or carts with the horse or likewise. So wheel was there. So concept of rotation, concept of wheel was known. But today that bullock cart or the chariots are becoming absolute, and then not existing anymore. But still the concept of will remains. Methodology of developing will and techniques and skills developing the will has changed. Okay. So in other words, if person says that I will not change, okay, then system will reject that person. Okay. So everybody has to be some a positiveness to the change. Okay. So this is very important aspect. Last time I forget to discuss this, so I think I started with that. So whenever system changes, system becomes it becomes, when system change, it becomes inevitable, okay, to compete. This is very important thing. Okay. And then everybody wants number one in industry. Okay. So now when somebody want to be at number one and fight for number one, then change is necessary. Okay. And then change is not in terms of sale of a product. Okay. But right from a root, right from a inception of thinking that what is the industry, okay, everything changes. Okay. And then there the manpower has to adapt to those changes. This is very important learning, and that is the basic theme of today's. And then let us take case of a delivery, or postman. Let us take two cases. Okay. So initially, I'm going to spend some time without slides, okay, and then I would like to come up, make a background for all these aspects, okay. So postman, and when I was somewhere around 7th standard, 10th standard, we used to write down those cards, inland letters, and different types of letters. Nobody thought of that there will be email, okay, and then we realized that there is internet and there is email. Now how much time we spent with spend with email? Now we shifted to new technique of communication, say WhatsApp, Facebook, okay, and it has become more social and more social, okay, and then it becomes multi-streamable. Okay, so multi-streamable means it can share audio, it can share video, it can share cartoons, it can share movies, it can share songs, it can share so many streams together. Okay, so that means system has changed as per the need, as per the requirement. Okay, and then coping up with this change. Okay, we also need to modify ourselves, okay, and then get trained too. Okay, banking sector, as I told you that BYOD, bring your own device, okay, so it is most advanced thing, okay, and industry O4 is has not reached to this extent, but now with O5 and onwards you will find that BYOD will be part of industry evolution, okay. So BYODs, bring your own device. Okay. So now everything customer has. Okay. Customer has own device. Customer has internet, and customer has follow me information. So wherever customer goes, so it is not necessary now that somebody should go to particular location, particular showroom for to carry out some purchases, sale or purchases. Okay, so everything is becoming a data. Everything is becoming a data. Okay, and then that value of data becoming very very important, processing of data becoming very important, searching of data is becoming very important. So concept of industry has drastically changed. So in O3 or O2, if I go back, then there was need of ERP, you know, enterprise resource planning systems, and then because systems were local in nature, okay. But now industry has not remained local in nature; it has become global in nature, okay. So I can now compare a product available in Pune or in Nanded or in US, okay, and then I can compare the price, I can compare the quality, I can see the feedbacks, and then I can decide to take this, I can then take decision, should I purchase, okay. And now purchase has become, yeah, now the purchase has become very easy, delivery has become very easy. So so that is where the postman comes into picture, because in good old days there was letters, and then there was parcel, and then parcel word has changed, okay, to courier, and now courier word now is going to change with autonomous robotic delivery system, okay. So but what happened to postman? Does he is losing jobs? If the person doesn't develop skills, then yes. But if you develop skills, then post office has also become a smart post office. Okay. And then postmen have to be smart postmen. Okay. So they must be using, GPay, all these tools which are available. Okay. And then there is always a need. There is always a need. Need always remains. Say, for example, from youth to the old age, at old age, somewhere in 70 years, 80 years or above persons, they get lot of restrictions in their action movement. Then they require assistance from a postman to deliver some money or deliver some investments and related things, okay. So job has changed drastically, okay. So job changes, requirement changes. Okay, and industry has to accept all these changes if they want to survive. Okay, so this is very important aspect that I want to discuss. Okay, and then when you want to survive, then it is not that we should, we should go with some updating the infrastructure, but it should start with, you know swayam. There is a swayam, that means it should start from own. Okay, so for example, in India now, we have, we decided to have our own infrastructure, our own manufacturing units. Okay, so samartha bharat abhiyan. Okay, so we want to make this India samartha, capable. Okay, samartha means capable. So capable industry should come forward. Okay, and then when we want to have capable industry, okay, then we have to think. Okay, we have to think in terms of inception, conception, perception, and then laying down the industry. Okay, so this is very important topic of discussion. Okay, wherein if somebody want to start a startup, even, somebody want to start a startup. Now if you look at AICTE or UGC, these type of educational bodies, government of India, central government of India, they have funds for student startups. Okay, or teacher startups, and then teacher students can start their startup in educational campus. Now in good old days, just go back by 10, 10, 15 years, there was no concept that there will be a startup in a college. Okay, so now if particular college want to survive, sustain, then they must have these facilities. They must have their professors trained, their associate professors, their assistant professors, their laboratory assistants. They must be trained, and then they should participate in this process of becoming Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay, and then Atmanirbhar means becoming smart. Okay, because when you become Atmanirbhar, it is not adequate. Okay, when you become Atmanirbhar, that means you, whatever you develop, whatever you do, whatever you produce, okay, it should be competent enough with other partners in the industry, and it must have sellable value throughout the globe, throughout the world. Okay, so that is what is the word smarter industry comes into picture. Okay, so it is not something that I have money and then I will manufacture something and then I will sell it in Pune. Okay, so this concept is now evolved. Okay, and then Pune is something connected to worldwide. Nanded is connected to worldwide. Okay, so but this thinking is very important. So it need to incept. Okay, and once this inception occurs, okay, then we need to decide what we want to look at, how we can compete, how we can become Atmanirbhar. Okay, so becoming Atmanirbhar or becoming competent is not a simple task. Okay, it is not just a question of investment, or it is not just a question of making some place available. Okay, but it is about establishing and using international standards. Okay, so when I want to develop any nut, when I want to develop any bolt, okay, because I think initially when I was doing engineering, there was concept of smithy, and then we used to use those filing jobs and cutting jobs and welding jobs. Okay, but then technology has evolved. Okay, I used to use my hand and legs on that arc welding machine and spot welding machine it used to call. But today if I say that I will invest money in that spot welding machine, then nobody is there to purchase. Okay, so then has it become a smarter? Okay, so the smartness, okay, is very important. So smartness is about making work easy, making work optimally easy. Okay, making work optimally profitable. Okay, making work optimally sellable. So this word of optimization, okay, when induced at all levels, okay, then slowly system you enter into world of smartness, okay. And then that when you want to have such smartness, then you require three things, okay, that is inception, conception, and perception. Perception I have already talked last time, okay, so I will give very less stress on perception today. So perception is about so see, when somebody's task will become simple, this is very important aspect, okay. When the task will become simple, when if we try to do randomly, then task becomes difficult. Because when systems are random in nature, then at particular stop you have to think, you have to query, you have to get certain answers, and then proceed. Say for example, now I am delivering this lecture from Pune, but now assume that I have to come down to Nanded and this government polytechnic, Nanded, and deliver this lecture. Then first of all, then I don't know where Nanded is. Okay, so I have to inquire whether there is a Lalpari is a type of bus, or whether there is a luxury bus, or whether it's a private bus available. Is there any railway that reaches to Nanded, or is there any aeroplane service available to Nanded? Now, second aspect is affordability. Okay, and based on time. So there are affordability in terms of time, affordability in terms of investment. Okay, now I will select one method, then I will reach to Nanded, but I don't know where the government polytechnic is. So again I will query, and then I will again ask 10%. So this will keep on happening again, and then I will reach to the government polytechnic. Then I will meet your sir, and then he will say that which classroom or where I should stand and what I should do. Okay, so this type of thinking is called greedy thinking. Okay, so greedy thinking is used whenever lot of parameters are unknown and decisions are taken locally, okay, at runtime, and then forgotten. Okay, in case of computer engineering, greedy forgets. Okay, so now next time if I want to come down, then I have forgotten how I have traveled and all these things. So becoming smart means memorizing. Becoming smart means memorizing. Not only memorizing, but then what wrong I did last time, okay, what correct I did last time, that also I need to memorize. And then I have to create a perception that these 10 things I did which are correct, and then this is the sequence of those 10 things, and if I follow those 10 things, then it will be optimal time that is used for reaching to Nanded or developing some product. So this is with this introduction of title Smart Industry Inception, Conception, and Perception. Okay, so this conceptualization. So concept, now I have talked about perception. So we have to change from greedy behavior to dynamic behavior. Okay, so where memorization is very important. Okay, and then if you look at robot, now robot can remember. Okay, so there are different types of robotic devices. A device which cannot remember. Okay, for example, drill machine. Okay, drill machine is a robot. It allows me, in good old days there was that chinni hatoda. Okay, and then maybe that poker punch and hatoda. So then hatoda means hammer. So then I used to use my physical energy, okay, and then drill a hole in a wall. But today I have a drilling machine, is a electromechanical device, okay, and then I consume very less power of mine. So human power is consumed, okay, for doing something better. So what is this smartness? That human efforts are preserved for doing something better. Okay, so if somebody does things earlier, then that person has to evolve and understand that person has to do something better. Then the system will become smart system, and then only the smart industry will survive. Okay, so Incept is about converting thinking into some important aspect of definitions. Okay, concept will take those definition into standardization worldwide, and then once standardization is thought of, then we have so many problems we need to solve and get answers. So process of getting answers and keeping them ready. Okay, so not compute at the runtime, but keep your answers ready. So I am creating perception, okay, of readiness, and then machines, okay, will be working with that perception in using AI based, machine learning based, or deep learning based solutions, okay, with the help of data analytics. Yeah. So this is what is the today's title, that is Smart Industry Inception, Conception and Perception. Okay, and then I hope that this title you have understood. Okay, so where those who are teachers, okay, there now teaching education has become industry. Okay, and just see our change due to this pandemic. We shifted to online classes. Okay, but if you look at, there is no atmanirbharness. Okay, there is no atmanirbharness. I am using technologies like Zoom. I am using technologies like Team software. I am using technologies from Google Meet. Okay, I'm using some WhatsApp. Okay, so now there are so many technologies which are available. But then, what is the innovation that we did? We contributed from education. Okay, have you managed to have we, instead of saying you, we need to, when we want to become smart, then we, instead of saying you, we need to say we. Okay, it is not only about I means singular person. Okay, and then we have changed this meaning of, becoming singular smarter is of no use now. So we becoming smarter. So that means socially bound system, group of person cohesively working in synchronous manner, working to achieve some innovative thinking into product so that profits can be earned. So this, why profits word come, because there is concept of industry. So if there is no profit, then this is the word industry is not used. Okay, so there has to be profit when there is an industry. So this is the concept of smartness. So smartness is about coming together, okay, in terms of social aspects, in terms of industry aspects, and then cohesively, synchronously working together with skilled aspects of knowledge, using skilled aspects of knowledge. So this is where we are. And then everybody, if somebody say that I will not change, okay, then it is not possible that person will survive. In good old days when I was doing engineering, I used to hate one subject called databases. Okay, and then I felt that why this subject, and is it useful? Okay, that was my thinking when I was doing studying those databases of third year or final year. Okay, but today if you look at, everything is data. Okay, and then now we have words like big data, little data. Okay, and then petabytes of data, multiple size of based on variance of the data, speed of the data. Okay, configurability of the data. So data has become a central point. Okay, and whenever there is a data at center, system becomes smart. Okay, so no industry will become smart unless and until data and data analytics and interpretation of data, that is AI, okay, becoming the center node of execution. Okay, so I will conclude my session with a architectural diagram, okay, of smart industry. Okay, and then I will go through this particular session in terms of inception, conception and perception. Yeah, so this is a little bit big, lengthy introduction regarding the title, but this title is very important and it fits in. You can, in the education has now become industry. Okay, so in India there was concept of Gurukul. So today there are very less Gurukuls are existing, and then everything is becoming self-finance, private institutes, and government will also say that some government polytechnics should become self-finance. government institutes. Okay, and then self finance means self earning, creating profits, which can be. So profit is not something to be saved. Profit is something to be consumed, to be utilized. Okay, so if it is a education as an industry, then profits are in investing money in knowledge building, investing money in innovation. Okay, investing money in becoming more smarter. Okay, with the help of inception, conception, and philosophy of perception. Yeah. So I have talked about the title. Okay. Now, how the smart industry? So I have spent good amount of time. Okay. So now I have put it in the word. Okay. So smart industry means industry with optimal use of raw material. So this is very important aspect. Okay. So word optimal, okay, is becoming very important everywhere. Okay. And then all computer engineers, all information technology engineers, all mechanical engineers, all types of engineers, okay, they should understand this word optimal. Optimality is extremely important. Okay, and then I don't know how much syllabus of government polytechnic or engineering colleges they stress on this word optimality. Okay, of whatever they are doing. It may be using the file and putting it on some job. Okay, or it is brickwork in civil, or some architect or computer engineering writing program. This optimal word is extremely important. And with introduction to AI, it has become furthermore important. Okay, so raw material, okay, is a code. For example, for software engineer, raw material is a code, raw material is a function. Okay, in case of programming, so this raw material, in case of lathe, raw material may be some wooden part or a metal part where the drilling can be done, milling can be done. Okay, different types of jobs can be done. Okay, different tool sets. Okay, the pointer of a tool. Okay, so if worn out tool is used on a lathe machine, then it is hazardous to the person who are operating those machine, as well as it will destroy that job as well. Okay, so maintenance of tools, maintenance of equipment, and quality of raw material. Okay, this is very important, and most important aspect is the design, because if design is correct, then there will be less wastage. Okay, so design has a methodology of selection. Okay, say for example, I want to use some machine on some part on a lathe, and then I want to cut it, say from 3 mm, I want to reduce it to 2 mm. Now, if I am getting that 2 mm rod already available, then is it necessary that I should cut it down into 2 mm? Okay, so it will save my time. Okay, it will save electricity. It will save lot of coolant used during those operations of drilling machine. Okay, so then lot of things are saved. So saving is also one of the important part of smartness. Okay, and that is where this optimal use word comes into picture. Okay, so optimal use of raw material to manufacture. Okay, now next word is very important, reliable. Okay, whatever you do, it should be reliable. Reliability means it should pass the parameters and it should survive that life. Okay, say for example, now electricity bulb, in good old days there used to be those tungsten wires. Okay, bulb, and then some 40 rupees bulb, 40 watt 40 rupees bulb, and then it used to dissipate lot of heat, and hence since heat is dissipated, lot of electricity will flow, current will flow, and lot of electricity is consumed. But today it has evolved to digital bulb. Okay, a diode based bulb. Okay, and then now voltage which is required, that is through 236 volt, 230 volts AC, has reduced to maybe 1 1.3 volts of DC. Okay, and then look at your mobile. Now mobile has a battery and mobile has a lamp. Okay, and that lamp is a DC lamp. Okay, which works on a diode principle of heat dissipation, current flowing through diode. Okay, photodiode or some sort of diode. So then what is the life of that machine? So customer must know, okay, that this is the life. So that's why reliable customer demand based design, and this is now becoming very important. So what are requirements of customer? So customer only don't decide by own what are the demands, but customer decides on certain aspect. Standards decide on certain. So designing a standard and evolving a standard, modifying the standard, this is smartness. Okay, look at the car. Okay, so in India now, BS6 is in place, and then BS2, BS4 cars are under process of going into dustbin. Okay, but then there was no security aspects tested on those cars. But if you look at BS6 car, then a lot of security, consumption of in oil or a petrol or diesel, whichever fuel use, consumption of fuel is less. Okay, less carbon emission. So all these aspects, and now system is changing from petrol or diesel driven cars to electricity car. See, evolution has happened, smartness has happened. Okay, so then what will happen to those petrol pumps who are delivering right now the petrol? Okay, they will die, but death never occurs. Whenever there's an industry, death never occurs. You have to modify your skills, and then those will become charging centers. Okay, those will become battery charging centers. Now battery charging is a very lengthy process. Okay, battery charging is a lengthy process. Now a lot of thinking is going on, that how it is customer friendly. See, it is very difficult for customer to stop somewhere on a charging station for 1 hour together and 2 hours together or half an hour together. So can we exchange batteries which are already charged? Okay, then now this problem people are solving. Okay, and then there can be innovative ways. Now what are the problems that in this design of solution? Now design is, if my car is new, my battery is new, and worth of battery is few lakhs of rupees. Okay, and in exchange, does that charging unit is going to give me old battery? Okay, now this is very important aspect. So we need to think on standardization. What are the parameters which are useful to customer? Okay, to accept this offer of exchange of the even brand new battery. Okay, so these type of innovative thinking, smart thinking, evolves the industry. Okay, and how this thinking should be uh, customer driven. Okay, customer demand based design of a solution or a product using optimal manpower to sustain the competition. So now this is very important aspect. Okay, now look at in story of say Mahabharata or somewhere, then there were so many lakhs of people, they went to war and then they died. But today, few hundred soldiers can win the war because of the warfare, ability of internet, ability of precision, okay, ability of missiles, new tools and technologies, okay. The warrior has changed, but because that was need of that warrior, and then you have found that now people are not using weapons like swords. Okay, but they have high end machine guns, high end missiles, and different types of, it has so many gadgets. The kit of a warrior has changed. So optimal use of manpower to sustain the competition, this is very important aspect in smartness. Okay, sustain the competition. Okay, this is the most important aspect. Okay, and take the global business leadership. Okay, so then the system is smart. Okay, so now nothing has remained local now. Okay, it has to be global. Okay, so even if you come down to education, the education must think, polytechnic must think, that is my student sellable outside India? Is my student sellable outside Pune or Nanded? Okay. Does company require, does, what is the sellability of a candidate or a product? Our product is student. So what is the sellability of this particular product? Okay. So does industry is accepting that product? Or we are just government system, and then government is looking after our salaries, or I am private unaided institute and government say, private unaided institute without teachers, let us have this business run, or various such aspect has no meaning. They are going to die because they are not becoming global in nature. Okay. So global is, one person doesn't become global, it is the system. Okay. It is the industry. It is not one college. Okay. It is not one college. Okay. It is all colleges together, they have to become global. Then the system of education, industry of in education will become global. So it is not role of IITs that you take innovation and then you fight with outsiders, okay, or CDAC or ISRO or DRDO, or that has changed now. Okay, so everything has, it is changing. So look at even DRDO. The lot of contracts are given to industry. In good old days, everything was developed by DRDO. So developing everything by own, okay, is now not considered as smartness, okay, because it is not optimal in nature. Okay. So this global business leadership, sustainable growth, okay, in the area of business, whichever area you have, okay, business interest, okay, meeting the customer satisfaction. So whenever there is a business, there has to be customer. Okay. So if, for example, education, so our customer is student, our customer is industry, our customer is nation, our customer is global contribution of knowledge. Okay. So are we satisfying, okay, all these parameters of satisfaction? Does our standards, okay, or standardizing agencies, are they looking after the satisfaction of a customer? Okay. So this is very important aspect, and when all these aspects are taken together, okay, then the system is called a smarter system or a smart system. So with this introduction of smart industry, okay, then it requires two important parameters. Okay, precision. Okay, exact has gone. Okay, exact is NP hard. NP hard means a data which is assumed, which cannot be changed. Instead of saying data, I will say answer, which is assumed and cannot be changed. Okay, say for example, death is NP hard. Okay. So everybody, those who have taken birth, they are going to die. Okay. So it is NPR, it is assumed that it is going to happen. Okay. So this is of course very maybe wrong example, or very gone away side example. Okay. So everything has to be precise, not so whenever there is an exact, then there is no scope for perception, there is no scope of evolution. Okay. There is no scope for change. But when I talk about a precision, then there is a scope of evolution, there is a scope of change. Say for example, I will give very simple example, that I want to add from in one, add say I am at 0 and I am adding 1 to it, so my answer will be 1. Now this one answer is very distinct and it cannot be modified. Okay. Now let us see how I will develop a perception. Now if I want to add, instead of a 1, I want to add zero point 0.5, sorry, zero point 0.9. So now what my objective is to get the answer 1. Okay. So now how I will evolve? Zero point 0.1 plus zero point 0.9. So my answer is 1. Now I can have one in n ways. So it is NCR ways. Okay. So for example, I hope that NCR ways you recollect. Okay. So now if I add take zero point 0.2 plus zero point 0.8, then still answer is 1. And likewise, if I take say zero point 0.3 plus zero point 0.7, then still answer is 1. So now my perception is zero point 0.1 plus zero point 0.9, zero point 0.2 plus zero point 0.8, zero point 0.3 plus zero point 0.7, and likewise. So I can do these 10 possible ways. Okay, I can do this in 10 possible ways. But now if I consider two digits after decimal point, then I have 0.01 plus 0.99. So still my answer is 1. So likewise, then there are 100 possible ways of reaching to 1, answer 1, with 2 digits of after 2 digits after decimal point. And if I take 3 digits after decimal point, then 1,000 possible ways. And then how many digits I can take after decimal point. So in other words, I can tend to be infinite. So this is where the limit comes into picture, limit theory. Okay. So limit theory solves problem within the bounds. But how? With the help of perception. Okay. So this perception, that means limit theory, derivative theory, integration, they are not to be forgotten by any engineer. This is very important aspect because they talk about the precision. They talk about divide and conquer and solve the problem. Okay. So, for example, I gave last time that dy by dx, okay, can be written as dy by du into du by dx, or it can be written by dy by du by dv by dx. So this is what is I am dividing, okay, the system, and then these can be computed independently. Okay, so I can consider a system. So I can call 3 students and they ask them to compute each part independently and then collect, okay, collect them together. Okay, so that means concurrency, parallel processing can be possible if systems are precise. They are working with precision rather than distinct values. Okay, so whenever, so precision has a scalability. Okay, and scalability means smartness. Okay, so dimension of precision becoming very important. And then in AI, precision is used for developing a perception. So that's why AI is a smarter system, and that's why everybody is going to the technology of AI. So precision, and then of course when system runs parallelly, then it is speedy in nature. It gains a moment, it becomes become more efficient, and then it becomes speedy. Okay, so precision and speedy business intelligence. Now intelligence has come down. Okay, so when you start dividing your decisions, understanding what are the outcomes, dividing the method of getting outcome, then business intelligence, okay, will generate. Okay, say for example, quoting certain price, okay, requires a business intelligence that what is the current cost. Okay, when the tender will be open and one person will be gained a quotation, at that time, what is the predicted cost of this particular product, what are the expenses, okay, what is the rise of percent of expenses. So this is where the business intelligence come into picture. Okay, and they are key players in support of smarter industry. Yeah. So now we have already talked about this smart industry and O4, 4.0, or it is called O4 or O5 likewise. Okay. So now this is something which is evolved, which is thought of somewhere in Germany in 2011-12. Okay. Regarding O4, and O3 was already placed, and then there was lot of competition in O3, and everybody is trying to innovate something so that I can become a leader. Okay, and the yield of that innovation is O4. Okay, and in Germany somewhere in 2011 2012. Okay, this terminology of smart industry 4.0 evolution, okay, was referred to. Okay, and then it talked about automation. Okay, so it talked about automation, it talks about integration of various fields, okay, with information technology. Okay, IT. So IT means data. Okay, IT means division of data, divide to the extent that it is not further subdivisible. Okay, so this is how. And then once that such uh, data is available, small data, okay, it is called little data. There is a concept of little data and big data, two different data. So now take decisions on this little data. Okay, and then find out all possible ways to solve that particular problem. Okay, this will develop. So this is going to perception with inception in mind. Okay, so this is called going to perception with inception in mind. Okay, so this is very important term uh, uh, designated or given in Germany. Okay, that if you industry want to have competition and then they want to grow, when they want to take leadership, then there is no scope in O3. But what you do, integrate this system, existing O3 system, by method of automation. Okay, to the information technology. Okay, so this is very important inference drawn. Okay, somewhere in 2010 to 2012, and then they started. So immediately when inception has occurred, okay, conception start. Conceptions lead to standardization practices, global standards. Okay, so whatever we do has to be globally accepted, globally recognized. Okay, so this is where this is how the inception has occurred for the word called smart industry. Okay, so smart industry is not something which is 2021 or 22. Okay, so it took this much time. Okay, so what were the hurdles? Hurdles were that what was estimated huge data. Okay, so it is estimated that this will generate huge data. Okay, and then scientists then came up with a technical name called big data. Okay, so it generated, so we realized that it is going to generate big data. Then where is the hardware, where is the capacity of a computer server to handle such big data? So then we started working with data, and then there is a concept of data industry. Okay, a smarter industry in computer engineering is a IT industry. Okay, which deals with data, and then data farms, data warehouses. Okay, data mining. So all words they come up in associated, and then technology evolved in computer engineering, and then it becomes more easy, user friendly. Okay, with the help of technologies like Python, technologies like Java. Okay, and then few other technologies where connectivity to data, connectivity to framework. So there was in C programming language, there was no concept of framework. There was not thinking of framework, but they used to rely on a library. So library is pretty small thing, okay, which is local in nature. Okay, so going local to global has happened with in computer industry with 386. IBM PC 386. We shifted from local machine, that is 8086 machine. Okay, which was local machine, or IBM PC we call, and operating system was DOS. Okay, DOS 3.3 up to DOS 7, and then from DOS 7 it became smarter. Okay, and then we got Windows, or we got Linux, we got Unix. Okay, and then processor was 386, and then 386 was not adequate, so people started thinking of it, and now you have i5 and i8 and i10 and so many high end processors now evolved, and now industry readiness has now today available. Okay, so even though the topic was discussed somewhere in 2010 to 2012, there was no readiness. Okay, so becoming ready for smarter industry, that process started somewhere in 2010 to 12, and now computer industry is ready with big data, it is ready with portable functions, it ready with frameworks, okay, like Python. And then now it is hardly any time that you develop a skill. Okay, so now somebody can say that I am a data scientist. Okay, so then in other words he has a skill in analyzing data, okay, in better manner, and then that person is skilled to use Python, Java, or some other techniques. Okay, to perform analytics. Okay, so it may be business analytics, maybe data analytics. Okay, so now system is becoming more and more smarter with introduction of information technology, and integrating that technology with the remaining industry. Now, in the remaining industry may be mechanical industry, so they have mechanically moving parts. So now, how? how data can be acquired from those parts. So then we got sensors. Okay, so electronics industry, instrumentation engineering, okay, they evolved, materials engineering, they evolved and they started sensors. Okay, and then electromechanical sensors, electrical sensors, electronic sensors, and then they are converting data which is sensed, okay, to digital data. Okay, and from now digital data, so concept of becoming digital in good old days was reaching to 5 volts, 0 to 5 volt DC. But now if you look at your mobile, they are all 1.3 volt batteries. So now becoming digital is reaching to 1.3 volts. Okay, operating some car on a battery. See what is next challenge. Now today we have solved some problem, that operating a computer was very big challenge. It was very huge in size. Okay, but now your computer is become mobile, and then there is a battery which can last 1 day or 2 day or 3 days. Okay, so battery technology has evolved, so it is not smart. So mobile, so computer industry has become smarter. Okay, and then took leadership, okay, of smartness, and now it is giving back socially to all other industries to become connected to this mobile type of device. Then the system is called industry smarter industry. So integration of internet, okay, this is very important aspect. Okay, where we want to have internet, internet everywhere, internet of things. Okay, internet everywhere. Now this is the concept which is a smarter concept. Okay, so use of integration of internet with production processes. Okay, variety of sensors, okay, and of course AI. Because why AI is required? Because it works with perception and selects one which is more exact, more precise. Okay, exact is again the wrong word, more precise. Okay, and it's so out of so many answers, AI allows us to select most precise answer for current instance. Okay, and that's why it is called artificial intelligence. So perception to cognition, cognize one answer out of so many answers. Okay, say assume scene of Mahabharata where a lot of warriors were fighting, and then both parties were equally technically skilled. Okay, so one person called Arjuna was on one side, and then there were a fleet of persons, so many persons. Karna was there, the Dronacharya was there, Bhishmacharya was there, Ashwathama was there, so many persons were there. And then Arjuna want to defeat them at a time, then what it must have? Arjuna must have warfare, ability to fire multiple arrows with the help of that bow arrow technology, and selection of particular weapon. Okay, and that intelligence, artificial intelligence, or that intelligence was his Sarathi. Okay, Sarathi is a guide, intelligence system. Okay, how I am interpreting it. So that Sarathi told him that choose particular weapon. Okay, and now that and out of so many weapons, okay, that he developed a skilled. So not only the person who is skilled is adequate. That is the message given by that duo, that is Arjuna and Krishna. That only skill is not adequate. Selection of appropriate tool, selection of appropriate efficient mechanism, and selection of effective answer. Okay, so that selection of effective answer was given by that Sarathi. Okay, in case of Mahabharata, and hence there was intelligence transfer, and hence there was success. Okay, so this is what is artificial intelligence. Okay, artificial intelligence is a paperwork. Okay, and technology associated with this paperwork is called machine learning. Okay, and deep learning is again a paperwork, and technology is associated with that is again a deep machine learning. Okay, so these are technologies. So Google has Python tool, and technology is Python, where uh, toolbox or framework for machine learning is available. So you can just by writing one instruction, whole of AI, whole of machine learning, it can be embedded in your Python, and then you can work with that particular technology. Yeah, so I have talked about inception. So where I am how incepting, how incepting is studying the requirements, that if I want to reach somewhere, then what are the requirements? So this is called in computer engineering requirement specifications. Okay, so I need to identify the requirements first of all. Okay, so the most important aspect is a system which can autonomously take decisions. Okay, and that is where the AI comes into picture. Now if some decision has to be taken autonomously, then where are the answers, so that we can decide which one to choose? So that interface, okay, is again more in part of inception, and sensors was the answer given by, there may be mechanical switch. Okay, so it acts as a sensor. Okay, or electromagnetic switch, or electronic switch. Okay, so mechatronic switch. Okay, so these devices from associated industry allowed us to generate a system which is sensor system. Okay, so what sensor does? Sensor converts existing technology into data. Okay, what sensor does? It senses, okay, and converts into data, that is computable data. Okay, that means computable means now it can be plugged in to a device like mobile. Okay, now laptops is an outdated device, please understand. Desktop is lot of way long update, gone device, it's a dead device. Okay, so now if you look at even education, so many laboratories with desktops, it's a extremely bad idea, because it's outdated technology. So when we can take a leadership in education, when your laboratories are ready with state of art techniques and technologies. Okay, and infrastructure. Okay, so this is very important. And now in case of smart industry, such infrastructure of interfacing computer with others is sensors. Okay, so now any mechanical engineer want to take a BE mechanical engineering or BTech mechanical engineering or even diploma, they must have these sensor aspects, okay, in their syllabus. Okay, so now syllabus has to be multidisciplinary if you want to work, when you want your skilled manpower, that is your student, to be part of smarter industry. Okay, then conventional mechanical industry syllabus may require a lot of changes. Computer engineering syllabus requires a lot of changes, so that industry ready products can be developed. Okay, and concept is sensing. Sensing is quantization, method of quantizing from one concept to another concept. Okay, there are no two concepts, there is a concept only. Okay, so from concept converting into data. Okay, that is how I will focus as a sensor. Okay, so there are one example I have written here: change in temperature. Now this is a concept. Okay, so concept is, if I applied, there is a diode. Okay, there is a diode, and then I have a solder gun heating machine, and then I put that solder gun, hot solder gun, on a diode. Then what happens to the current characteristics of that diode? Now this is a concept. Now how I can exploit this concept to develop different interfaces. Okay, then you have avalanche breakdown in that diode, and then we can have thyristor, concept of a thyristor. Okay, new device. So now it can be controlled with the help of a digital machine like a transistor. Okay, and then now the power transistor still can be connected to mobile device. Now you have innovation done um, in lifting the water pump in a farm field can be controlled through mobile. Okay, with the help of this type of devices. So this farming is one of important area of smartness. There is lot of scope in India in farming, in agriculture, and then various aspects of education, various aspects, industrial aspect, government aspect, those should become smarter. And when you want to become a smarter, you require interface, and that interface is given with the help of sensor. So smart industry is possible with smart industry standards. Okay, So this is possible only when there has to be standardization of activity. Okay, so I will have some review of standards in one of the slides. So right now I will not talk much on this particular aspect. Okay, so methodology of reaching standards. Okay, so how many institutes in India they have standards as part of library, educational institute. Okay, we are still focusing on journals. Okay, and those journals no to student reads, no teachers read, because they are not required by them. Okay, because now industry wants product develop smarter students. Okay, which can be embedded in the industry. When you want to become a student smarter, then that must have exposure to multidisciplinary aspects. Okay, and then multidisciplinary aspects are standards of different. So when I press a one key on keyboard of a laptop or even mobile, then 10-20 standards they followed, and data is converted from key press or a touch screen to a value. Okay, then that process requires multiple standards, they are executed. Okay, so standards are extremely important when you want to become a global industry or smart industry. Inflow outflow analysis, this is one more important aspect. Okay, because inflow and outflow allows you to create estimates. Okay, or for industry, and if industry want to be a smarter, then it has to be futuristic, and because it should generate estimate. Okay, say for example, now I live in Pune, and then काय म्हणायचं, सदाशिव पेठी पर्सन आहे मी तसा. If I am a सदाशिव पेठी person, and then we whenever there is a some tyohar, festival, then our most important food eatable is Shrikhand. Okay, so we will go travel to say Chitale. Chitale is one of the important brand in Pune in this industry, food industry. Okay, and then I go there and then take a coupon and then give that coupon to a person. Then person will read how much kg or what product I want. Then he will take that raw material of product and then put it on a weight, and then it will measure that. So measurement. Okay, so measuring is a part of standard. Okay, it's very important aspect. Okay, now measuring is part of standard, so it will measure, then it will pack it, and then it will deliver it to me. Okay, and then I will come back to home. Now this scenario has become smarter. Okay, and now I can give order to Chitale at sitting at home, and they will do all the needful. Okay, pizza. Now I will give order, and then it gives me minute by minute feedback that what has happened to your pizza, that it is baking, it is preparing, it is under wrapping, it has handed over to a delivery boy, and delivery boy has already started where it has reached. Okay, so data and standard information is reaching to me. Standard information means which has some authentication. Okay, which cannot be denied. Okay, that is what is called standard. So now inflow and outflow is very important. Say for example, now I do this purchase of Shrikhanda like this. Okay, so this is sequential process, step by step. Okay, but now say there is a Diwali and some occasion like Padwa or something like that. So multiple houses they want to eat Shrikhanda. Now this business person is not smarter, then there will be a queue of persons in front of that particular shop of Chitale. So if this queue remains, then the business is not run smartly. So what they should do, they should understand inflow and outflow analysis of that object, eatable object called Srikhanda on that day of say Padwa, and they should on background prepare perception. Okay, so what they should do, they percept, they incept that what is last year's sale. Okay, what is current status of business, how much quantity I need to produce. So these are all predictive answers, and AI, artificial intelligence, will come into picture. It will give answer that 1 kg of packets, this many, half kg of packets, this many, 100 grams of package, these many standard packages, and on that day they will not apply weight, because now weight is part of sequential system. So what they will do, they will put it in background in parallel machines. So parallelly those weighing will happen, and then those 1 kg packets pre-manufactured will be kept ready, and hence I can deliver to a customer immediately the 1 kg of Srikhanda, half kg of Srikhanda, and then maybe 100 grams of Srikhanda, and likewise. And now my flow, my queue of customers reduced drastically. This is smart industry. This is how inflow outflow analysis becomes very important part of smart industry. Process quality assessment, this is very important. Okay, so ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए that मैंने I have asked for Srikhanda, and then at the end when I opened the packet, because I relied. See, customer in smart industry, customer relies. Okay, and hence since customer relies, there has to be reliability associated with the industry. So it should not happen that I have purchased Srikhanda and at home I opened the packet and then it was gulab jamun. Okay, so process quality, process quantity, everything should be ascertained that yes, this is so. Even if scalability on demand occurs, okay, immediately scalability, say padwade, and lot of chakka is one of the raw material, okay, that is used for Srikhanda. Then sugar is one more ingredient used for this Srikhanda, and then there may be flavors and various things. So quality of those should not be affected. Okay, so quality assessment and assurance, okay, is extremely important. Okay, and standardization practices, okay, of quality management are extremely important when system to be become a smarter. So now use of AI, ML, DL. Okay, I have already talked about. So I will not give more stress on this particular aspect. Okay, customer information and management. Okay, so I have given you example in Srikhanda, and at particular day of festival, that information management should tell us that estimate that tomorrow or next week there will be a lot of demand to this particular aspect. Okay, say for example elections are now run, and then the order of crackers, order of mithai. Okay, um, Indian cricket match, a very uncertainty, we don't know whether we will win or lose till last ball. Okay, and then once we win, then there are so many crackers, so much mithai. Where is that mithai? Where it will come randomly? Okay, where that scalability of production will happen? Okay, so all these aspects are dependent on customer information management and customer satisfaction. Yeah, so there are three important aspects, okay, of smart industry. Okay, so first of all, you should have smart plant. Okay, so plant is where manufacturing occurs. Okay, how it should be, how to make it smarter, that it should be internet based enterprise resource planning system. So now we don't want just ERP. Okay, but it should be the internet of things based. Okay, ERP, then quality control, workload balancing. Okay, so lot of workload will be required, so there should not be fear of jobless. If somebody has a fear of jobless, then they are not developing their own skills, they are not upgrading their skills. Okay, so you need to upgrade. Okay, so if you are a teacher, then teacher has to upgrade every hour, every minute. Okay, then if I decide that now I am professor and then I should not upgrade myself. Okay, then I then see, when I did my graduation, I have not studied C also. Okay, I don't know C programming, and I am fortunate to say that I don't know C programming. Okay, because C is such a powerful language. It's a technology. C is not a concept. If somebody is telling C is a concept, then it's a wrong thing. C is a technology. Okay, it's very powerful in those days. Okay, and those who adapted to C, it became very difficult for them to shift their skill set to OO language, object oriented programming, because C develop habit of use of conditions and loops. And then object oriented programming language philosophy is reduce loops and conditions. Okay, so balance your load. Okay, understand now what is becoming redundant, who is more useful. Okay, then those things should come down. Okay, So this is concept of a smart industry, smart plant, smart methodology of production. Okay, so this is very important system. So now this will be electromechanical or mechatronics or pure mechanical with sensor. So electrical, all these things come together now. Okay, say for example 3D printer. Okay, now 3D printer requires civil engineering, they require architect, they require materials person. If I want to create a cement, then cement has so many varieties. Cement for a bridge is different than cement used for housing. Okay, then quantity of raw material for developing cement. Okay, development of concrete, how much water I should pour, which is the season going on, whether it is winter season, raining season, summer season. Okay, what is the effect of those seasons on that concrete which will be developed? So, so many aspects are to be thought of, and then features are selected which can be quantized, and then it will help in converting to develop the product parameters. So, raw material selection, okay, is very important process in smart production. And then of course it is supported by smart logistics. Okay, so now logistics comes everywhere right from the beginning, okay, to the delivery. Okay, so I have listed very few things in the bracket. Okay, like packaging, marketing, demands, okay, customer satisfaction, smart delivery, and then there are so many other such parameters. Okay, so logistics is everywhere, logistics is taking help. Okay, and then say for example, if say a woman at home or somebody person at home want to cook a food, and then if he is not supported with other persons in home, okay, then that person has to decide which take opinion, take poll, which food I have to prepare, then what are the ingredients required, what is the quality of ingredients required, where in the market that quality of food is available, then go to that market, purchase those food, come back, then start processing, and then various aspects. Okay, so then this is a pure sequential architecture, and it's not a smart industry. Okay, so smart industry is about plant, smart plants, smart production, and smart logistics. Now I have, I think, given adequate weightage on a word called inception of word smart. Okay, so auto feedback, auto correlation. This is very important aspect. Okay, that auto correlation word, gave me a lot of questions when I was studying digital signal processing. Okay, that why this word. Okay, so this correlation is very important now. Correlate and then select and process. Okay, so self-evolving within the bounds, okay, with the help of electronic, mechanical, and then such hybrid system. Okay, is a smart industry. So this is where the smart industry inception comes into picture. So there are certain more elements, okay, which are to be taken care of. Okay, so backbone of smart industry is employees. Okay, if somebody feels that employees becoming smarter means reducing employees, then this is extremely wrong idea. Okay, and then that industry is going to die very soon. Okay, if they have this philosophy, anybody feels, any industrialist or business person, okay, or any education institute feels that smartness means reduction. Smartness in reduction in cost, smartness in reduction in employees, smartness is reduction in teachers, smartness in reduction in equipment. Okay, then it is extremely wrong idea. Okay, so backbone cannot be touched. Okay, backbone is a concept. Okay, so backbone of smart industry is employee, but how this employee, skilled employee having confidence in using smart industry components. Okay, this is very important. If employee says that I will not evolve, then that person is to be removed. Okay, not of any use. Identify the threats, okay, felt by employees. This is one more aspect. Employees, they always feel a threat of being removed because of the smartness in the industry. Okay, so best example is railway reservation system. Okay, in good old days, there were so many cashiers sitting across the window, and then they were selling tickets. Okay, and those clerks, Okay, they that business was flourishing. The day government decided to automate this process, okay, then what happened to those employees? Okay, this is the best example to study is Indian Railway Reservation System. Okay, so of course I will not talk much on Indian Railway Reservation System smartness right now, because then I will require 2 more hours to discuss. Okay, railway reservation smartness in railway reservation system. Okay, but I expect that those who want to study smartness and those who feel that employees taking employees into confidence is one of the important part of making industry smarter. Okay, in nutshell, I think I will talk. Okay, but how to take employees in confidence? By developing opportunities for them of evolving, developing skill, inheriting skills. Okay, so that means our education system goes bottom up. It's a extremely wrong practice. It should come from top to bottom. So there should be skill with if it is education, then there should be adequate skills, okay, with higher end to then last element is teacher, and then our product where the actual process happens, those are students. And any other industry, if they want to replace certain manpower with the help of equipment, then they should first of all talk to those employees, okay, take them into confidence, tell them that what are the skill sets required for running this particular machine, how much manpower is used for developing this machine, what to do with excess manpower, all these questions. So that's why there is HR, okay, human resource system established in industry. Okay, and then they try to absorb maximum elements, okay, by deploying the skill. Okay, so backbone of smart industry is employee training. Encourage employee to enhance knowledge, skills, get introduced to innovative opportunities. Okay, employee innovation, so give employee innovation awards, performance appraisal. Okay, opportunities of growth. So these are all aspects will make your backbone very strong. So now this is how the smart flow of smart industry can be shown. Okay, smart plan. So now we logistics allows us to get the raw material, estimated raw material. So I should use word estimated raw material, predicted raw material. Then smart plant will perform estimated product development with the help of smart activities. Okay, and then it will now create a material to be used by a production. So then there will be smart production entities will come into picture, and without loss of wastage, very less wastage. Okay, see, there is no wastage is extremely wrong idea. There will be wastage, okay, but optimize wastage. Okay, it will convert into product, and then product will again go into market, and then again there will be logistics. So this is basic simple life cycle of any smart manufacturing industry. Now identify pockets of redundant expenses, okay, and reduce those expenses. Okay. Now there is wrong concept. Paperless office means don't purchase stationery. Okay. Paperless office requires a lot of stationery. Okay, because industry converts it into a printed form, books. Okay. Now if we don't want printed outcomes, then you must have digital books. There should be authenticate standard of saving, archiving the digital record, that should be incorporated, okay, in the practice. So now one day I can take decision that now I want to implement paperless office and no purchases of stationery. Okay, then this is extremely bad idea. Identify what is archiving methods, what are archiving standards, and then deploy those standards in company. Okay, and develop training to a manpower to use that archive values. Okay, and how that archive should be, it should be reliable, it should not fail at certain. So they should have then mirroring technology. So mirroring is creating a clone, creating a copy of it, backup of copies, maintenance of copies, all those things should be invested in. So now with this investment, new manpower, new job opportunities also come up. Okay, so any smart industry doesn't mean that employees are going to be jobless. Okay, no, new opportunities are created. Employees has to develop skill and reach to those new opportunities. Okay, So misconception of manpower, I have already talked about. Cost cuttings, etc. I have already talked about. So such industry, okay. So small industry will become, if you misinterpret smart industry, then slowly that industry will vanish. They will die their own death. Okay. So concept of smart industry is extremely important. Okay. It never talks about reduction in manpower. It doesn't talk about cost cuttings, which are very important aspect. Okay, but it talks about cost cutting for investment. Okay, so cost cuttings are done for future. Okay, and not for by having some fatty money kept in fixed deposits, and no, it's not for that. Okay, so investment in employees. So where that cost cutting will be invested in employee skills, training, okay, expertise development, okay, and hence the business growth. So investment should come down to the business growth. This is very important guru mantra of smart industry. Okay. Now I have already highlighted employee skills, training. High-end computer techniques are to be used. Okay. Now I will give very example that what happens in India. In India, in education and everywhere, everybody is following that Windows. Okay, using Windows operating system is a bad idea. Okay, it is meant only for those who are computer illiterates. Okay, now those who are in education, if they are using Windows, then they are using tool which is for computer illiterates. Okay, now I am calling a computer person illiterate. Say for example, a person, a clerk. Okay, now clerk is not aware of how to handle typing, okay, on computer. So for that particular clerk, there is a tool called Microsoft Office. Okay, but now technology has evolved, and Microsoft is fighting itself to develop, maintain business with their Microsoft Office, because so many open source free tools are available. Okay, so now they have, if they are smarter, they have to develop open source tools. If they say that I will use tools, okay, which is free of cost. So now system in computer engineering is now shifted from tools to services. Okay, for example, Google never charge any fees for developing, opening Google account. WhatsApp never charge any money to open up the WhatsApp account. Facebook never charge any money. Okay, and use their tools. But what they do, they provide services to the market, that those persons who are using WhatsApp and like ice cream, can we do advertisement of that ice cream for this customer? So advertisement industry, see, the employability has reduced at one location but has increased in another location. Okay, so this is very important part, okay, of smart industry inception. Now I will come down to conception. So conception is mainly use of standards. Okay, so now if I want to talk about smart industry standards, then there are n different standards. So I will focus some 3 to 4 standards. Okay, so now smart industry is an advanced manufacturing model. Okay, now my inception is ready, that now I agree that employee is not burden, but I have to apply skill set to them, and then in training to them, and they will be useful. Okay, I may require to shift certain employment from one block to another block, and likewise, etc. Okay, now I have to invest on smart technologies. This is what I have understood. Okay, so now I want to set up my production unit. So that is my conception. Okay, now when I want to construct my production unit, then am I using standard practices worldwide? Okay, this is a concept. Worldwide is a concept. So worldwide standards is a concept. Okay, so advanced manufacturing models, okay, represented by intelligent virtual digital performance. Okay, so this is very important aspect of conception. Okay, and now using this virtual world. Okay, so then now cloud, there is a cloud concept of cloud. Okay, data cloud, function cloud, scalable cloud. So Amazon uses cloud, Google uses cloud, IBM uses cloud. Okay, Azure is the cloud of Microsoft. Okay, so the cloud has a ability to allocate resources, okay, in scalable manner, and sharing of resources in scalable manner. So whenever resources, ERP talks about how much resources are required, and then in future what purchases you should do, how you should maintain, what is your inventory, and what is the backfalling of inventory. Oh, but then when there's a scalability of product, mass production is going to happen. Okay, then this adequacy of ERP, it need to be changed to how intelligent virtual digital platform for ERP packages. Okay, so when you deploy such products in industry, then it is industry over readiness. Okay, it is called smart industry readiness. Okay, so readiness is about standards, it is about conception. Okay, now this includes factory wide integrated structures. Now one, I will say that I will go progressively, and today I will just purchase one mobile and then keep it in a cupboard. Okay, then there is no growth to it. Okay, now when I am, see, I am old person and then I am not at all habitual to use mobile phones. But today, now with COVID-19 pandemic, now I am using smartphone. Okay, I am using Team software on my mobile, and then I am conducting lectures from my house. Okay, now I have shifted to virtual world because my notes, my PPTs, my video, everything is in the cloud. Okay, it is in a big data somewhere in the world. I don't know where it is stored. Okay, so it will be fetched and provided to me whenever my demand comes. I can share it with my clients, that is students, and then students will also get satisfied. So becoming intelligent, becoming virtual, and becoming use of digital performance. Okay, these are extremely key important parameter of conceptualizing the smart industry. Okay, so it should not be done for one pocket. Okay, there should not be concept of phase wise doing. It's a wrong word. Okay, you have to think, you have to borrow, you have to invest, and you have to earn profits. Okay, by hard efforts. Okay, so if I say that I have 10 rupees today, so I will work only on 10 rupees. Okay, then this is not smartness. Okay, so that's why banking doesn't work on interest. Okay, they work more on loans. Okay, how much loan and how much funds can be generated for funding. Okay, that is their main business. Fixed deposit is not their main business, so that's why they are reducing the interest rate on fixed deposit. Okay, but they are more businesses in investment in mutual fund, investment in share market, where scalable growth of money can occur. Okay, so now if I say that I want to do phase wise, and then now I am at retirement, and then after 5 years I will gather some money, and then I will put it in mutual fund, or I will put it in share market, and then आपल्याकडे ते there are stories in Jatak Katha. Okay, now I have forgotten name. Sheikh Chilli. Okay, Sheikh Chilliच्या stories आहेत. So these are all Sheikh Chilli stories. You have, when you want to have a smart industry, then it cannot be solved by small pockets or phase wise concept. You have to take risk. Okay, if you want to earn more, and if you want to play without risk, then you are not smart industry. Okay, so because if you go phase wise, then in computer, let us take mobile. Now if I purchase mobile, what is the cost of mobile after 3 months, 4 months, 6 months? There is new technology, your mobile is absolute, you have to throw back in 500 rupees. Purchase maybe 20,000 rupees, but sale is 500 rupees. Okay, within 6 months time, within 1 year time. So if you do something in phase manner in smart industry, then you will fall out of race. Okay, you will not become the key player. Okay, so use and integration of potential technologies at various areas of industrial activities, okay, is extremely important conception in smart industry. So smarter technologies, I hope that these slides are visible to you. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay. So smart technologies are intrinsic. Okay. Now this is intrinsic word is very important word. Okay. So that's why I have put it in bracket. Basic part. Okay. It is whenever you talk about anything smart, then smart technologies they have to be there. Okay, now somebody was telling me that C is a concept. Okay, and then I was fighting that C is not a concept, it's a technology. Okay, and technology is a product, it cannot be a concept. Okay, programming is a concept. Okay, so there is a concept of data structure, but there is a concept of class. Okay, so what change has occurred in technology? This is intrinsic. So when I want to do something which is O based, then I should not use structures, I should not use include statements. Okay, in case of programmers perspective. Okay, so it is basic part. Okay, so this is very important. So when you want to install, conceptualize what product you want to develop, and it should be in smart industry, then basic parts has to be latest state of the art technology, and you must have investment in the research. Okay, smart industry must supported by research by own. So now if you look at HDFC Bank, okay, now it is in banking system, but HDFC Bank has a separate company which works with business analytics. Look at Amazon. Amazon, they are in trading, okay, and logistics. But Amazon cloud is one of the most technical aspect to be used. Okay, whereas Amazon cloud is a very big company, and lots of Indians, they have got job in Amazon cloud. Okay, cloud architecture, database management. Okay, cloud database management. So whenever system becomes smart, then it is not only the basic hardware becoming smart, but it has to be supported. Your smartness has to be supported with smart research, smart innovation, which is specific to your product, which will lead you, which will help you to take the leadership in a smart industry. So that is the meaning of intrinsic word. Okay, specifically I have separate slide for that. Okay, so now one more conception is disruptive smartness. Okay, this is very important concept. So now smartness is everywhere. See how it is. Smartness is everywhere. But is it dynamic? Okay, is it going to change and give me something more better? Okay, then it is disruptive because it is demand based. Okay, so demand is going to change. Then how much change do you require to close down existing smart industry, and then you have to invest in new smart industry? Does this is happening, then it is not disruptive. Okay, so disruptiveness is using to maximum extent existing technologies which are advanced in nature. Okay, but establishing compatibility, establishing compatibility. Now here example is BYOD. See, I am using say Samsung mobile. Somebody is using iPhone mobile. They are different technologies, different companies. But then I can perform banking with those mobiles, irrespective of mobile hardware. So irrespective of hardware beneath, technology component beneath, okay, can my system be socketed, connected? So can I develop connectivity to new generation connections? So if you look at desktop, then there are different types of connection. In laptop you have USB port, but now you look at mobile. Mobile has a wireless Bluetooth ear plug, wireless Bluetooth earplug. Mobile has wireless Wi-Fi built in. Okay. So now changing to wired technology of networking to wireless networking. This is a smartness. And then devices are becoming ready for this change, ready for this connectivity. Then that technology is a disruptive smartness technology. Okay, so then there are technology like Internet of Things. Okay, BYOD, bring your own device and interface. Now this BYOD is O5. Now owner will come down with a owner has a mobile, whosoever it may be, Ambani's, it may be that car manufacturer, Tesla manufacturer, maybe Bill Gates. Everybody have to have mobile. Okay, now how their mobile is connected to their industry, it should be smartly connected. Okay, and it should be connected, pluggable. And now I am a owner, I have my investment, and then if I find that my managers, my directors, okay, they are not taking a relevant risk, then being a owner I have to make changes, and remaining technologies, remaining systems remaining AI component has to adapt to these changes. Okay, then adaptation, okay, is a key mantra in smart disruptive smartness. Okay, so follow me data, processes, all these things, everything is on my mobile, and now I will take decisions. So wherever I am in the world, I am connected to my business. Okay, wherever I am in the world, in wherever mood I am. So now AI is now AI and ML are now next generation AI and ML. They are working on human behavior, human emotions. So what is the current state of emotion of a owner? Say for example, I want to apply for a leave. मग आतनं एक दॅट प्यून कम्स और असिस्टंट कम्स अँड सेज की आतमध्ये वातावरण तापलेलं आहे, एव्हरीबडी hot discussions are going on inside. So it is advisable for me to take the leave application to my manager. Answer is no. Okay. So now does this system, I hope you are understanding what I am saying. So the system telling me advice that delay this decision. Okay, or rerouted decision in different way. Okay, but you don't change the decision. Okay, then these type of thinking will result into the disruptive smartness. Okay, now there are certain important parameters of disruptive industry 4 changes. Okay, new level of socio, so I gave you example of socio technical interaction. Okay, of leave, for example, leave management. Okay, so socio technical interaction is become a key parameter in smartness, disruptive smartness. Okay, so when I want to develop an industry, it should not be smart, but it is how it is disruptive smartness has to be there. And then I need to account for all social aspects associated with the technology integration. Okay. So autonomous, self-organized. Now this self-organized means AI. Okay. Autonomous can be developed. There can be autonomous machine which is only purely mechanical. It can be electromechanical machine. But when self-organization comes into picture, then AI comes into picture. Okay. And machine learning. So learning comes into picture. Artificial intelligence, learning, deep learning, all these processes come into picture. Okay. So self-organized production resources. Okay, carry out planning processes to value chain between the organization or organizations. Okay, so value chain management, this is very important. Okay, take a stock market. Yesterday there was war. So the day before yesterday there was fall of NSC and BSC index by so much margin. Okay, now value has degraded. Question is, should I purchase or should I sell? Okay, or should I retain? So what is my future? What is the future? What is the company? What is the growth of company? Does this war is going to affect performance of competing company? Does it going to affect sale market of this company? What is the profit to earning ratio? Okay, PE ratio it is called. Then autonomous system taking this decision and recommending you to don't sell, wait. Okay, so this is our socio-technical interaction. Socially now what is happening, and now how I should manage my assets. Okay, how I should manage my business. Okay, and create a value out of that. Okay, is one of the important aspect of disruptive smartness. Second is smart products. Okay, now I have given adequate examples of smart products. Okay, and last time I think we have talked about making a tea, and then AI machine that can be built up to make a tea. Okay, so then this is very important. I have, of course, I have given very crude example. Okay, how I can say, for example, I have milk. Now I can't drink that much milk, so I'll convert it to curd. Now I can't eat that much curd, so I will convert it to buttermilk and ghee. And now ghee has a lifelong which is larger than a milk. Have you understood how it is? So what I am doing, converting into ghee, and then I will keep generating profits. Okay. So when one pocket is losing, another pocket should earn. Okay. So this is called tolerance. Okay, business tolerance. So the products and the tolerance operating parameters. Okay, of certain production process. Okay, are mutually known. They must know each other. So they must know each other means I should take decision that where I should convert the curd into buttermilk and ghee. Okay, how where I should take decision that now this milk will go waste, I should convert to curd. So now curd will may remain eatable maybe for 1 week or 2 weeks. But now ghee, then in good old days, for medical purpose, ghee used to be multiple years old. Okay, so then it has lot of life. So all these aspects, AI must know, mutually known to AI. This is very important aspect. So that means there should be adequate supervised learning happened. Okay. So this is where the smart products will come into picture. Individualized production. Now I have already talked about this. Okay. Making a
Uh,
car, own choice.
Honorable Doshi sir,
Yeah, I have exceeded.
सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू.
Huh.
आपल्याला किती वेळ आहे अजून?
44 ना, मी 12 पर्यंत संपवतो किंवा एक 10 10 मिनिटात संपवतो.
हो, चालेल चालेल सर, प्लीज गो अहेड.
मग तुम्ही
थँक्यू.
तुम्ही सांगा, मग त्याच्यानुसार मी फ्लेक्झिबली चेंज होईल.
हो हो, म्हणजे आता पुढचं आपण 12ची वेळ दिली आहे पुढच्या
हो,
व्यक्तीला.
मग मी आधी त्याच्या आधी किती मिनिटं तुम्ही एक 5 मिनिटात मी संपवतो, 5 ते 6.
हो चालेल
ओके.
सर, थँक्यू.
Yeah. So then this is individualization of product is also very important aspect. Customer configured products. Okay, so this is new generation demand customization. Okay, and then that customization must be embedded in design, planning, production, recycling, etc. Okay, then autonomous control. Okay, whenever I make change, then I should configure the intelligent production resources accordingly. Then product design control. So my product design should be flexible to accommodate all such aspects of disruptive smartness. Okay. Now, decentralization is one of the important principles. So these are principles of product smart industry design. So I will just go faster way. Okay. First is decentralization of activity. Okay. And for decentralization, there should be AI promotion. Okay. Then virtualization, I have already talked about this. Okay. The concept of virtualization. Okay. Of data analytics and futuristic risk. Okay. So then perception creation using virtualization is very important feature. Okay. Then interoperability. Okay, based on flexibility, joints, socketing. Okay, so this is also one of the important aspect of designing the O4 smarter industry. Okay, and then modularity, based on demand. Okay, you should be in a position to reconfigure your modules and then construct particular system. Yeah, so there are lots of important features, but then I would have take 1 more hour, so I will skip all these aspects. Okay, real-time capacity. Okay, so this is one of the important, okay, aspect. Okay, of changing real-time rate of production. Okay, rate of consumption, various such aspects. Okay, so service orientation is very important. Okay, services has become most important aspect. Okay, now this is important slide. Okay, now this conception is heading towards perception. Okay, so that means now I can now I am ready to install my industry. My resources are ready. Then these are different. So these are few names of industry standards. Okay, now ISO is an international standards association. Okay, has this standard number 63306-2. Okay, recently updated to 2021. Smart manufacturing standards. Okay, map SM2. Okay, and then there are few more control standards. Okay, which I have listed here for networking, communication. Okay, and different terminologies, use of enterprise ERP systems. Okay, integration and all these aspects. Now I will change. I will skip the slides of level zero design and what interface. It's a human. It talks about HCI, human computer interface. Level one talks about the programmable. That means hardware component. Okay. Then process control component. Okay, is connecting to the hardware and mechatronics. Okay. Then plant management is about data analytics. So these are important levels of creating perception. So everywhere that AI should come into picture. Then enterprise resource planning level is number 4. Okay, then there are these all this perception, inception, conception and perception can be done with two important mathematical theories, that is design thinking and gaming strategy. Okay, and it can be used everywhere, right from the, in intrinsic way, everywhere in this. Then only your system will become a smart industry. And now this is last slide which I want to cover, the basic backbone architecture of any smart industry. Okay, so there is internet of services. Okay, so for example, Microsoft has .NET technology. Okay, Java has Java can has an import statement. Okay, Java has a framework. Okay, Python has a framework which can be imported. Okay, so services, creation of services which can be used with my product. Okay, on internet, so internet of services. Okay, then we have hardwired yellow block. Okay, smart materials and smart production, this is the business chain, manufacturing chain. Okay, and then internet of thing everywhere, and internet of services everywhere. This is basic block diagram of smart ofo architecture. Yeah, I think I have covered what I want to say. Okay, so these are very important references that I have referred while referring to this. So thank you for patiently listening to me. Okay. So any doubts, difficulties?
Thank you very much, Professor Joshi.
Yeah. So
Any
if
doubts, please?
yeah,
Any doubts? We still have, say, 5 minutes or so. Please feel free to ask your questions. कोणाला विचारायचं तर आपल्याजवळ 5 मिनिट अजून आहे. सविस्तरपणे सरांनी आपल्याला सांगितलेलं आहे. समजावून
if you want
स्मार्ट
email,
म्हणजे काय.
yeah, you can write
हा,
email also to me if you have any problem. Okay. And then we have in PICT internship cell. Okay. So then even your diploma or polytechnic students can come down, and if they want to develop any smart device, okay, then we can have association of PICT with your polytechnic college. Okay, and then they can get exposure if at all any. Okay, so even that can be thought of. Okay, so I think this is all from my side. So if there are
yeah,
no questions, should I
yeah.
unshare?
I once again invite uh, participants to raise your doubts, please. Is there anyone? पवार सर, काल तुम्ही काही विचारलं होतं पहा आपल्या. आज आपल्याकडे ज्येष्ठ व्यक्ती आलेले आहेत. हा, आनंद पवार सर.
हा सर. हा
I will just introduce Dr. Anand Pawar sir. He's a senior head of department at Government Polytechnic Aurangabad.
Okay.
Please go ahead, sir.
Hello, sir. Thank you for your
हा
participation.
सर. नमस्कार सर.
नमस्कार.
सर, स्मार्ट इंडस्ट्री ऑटोमोबाईल इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये सध्या कुठे वापरतात काय कन्सेप्ट?
हा कन्सेप्ट काही प्रमाणात वापरला जातोय. ऍक्च्युली मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग वेल्डिंग और सोल्डरिंग वेल्डिंग ऑफ अ कार बॉडी हे पूर्ण आता ऑटोमाइज झालेलं आहे. ओके, देन टेस्टिंग ऑफ अ इंजिन. ओके, हे आता नेक्स्ट जनरेशन आलेलं आहे. आता स्मार्ट कार्स येत आहेत. ओके, दे आर AI ड्रिव्हन कार्स. सो फॉल्ट फाइंडिंग इज नाउ absorbed in your AI based interface. Okay, and then machine faults by method of vibration. Okay, machine vibration. Then puncture is now going to be absolute very soon. Okay, so you will find that you ride fearlessly. Okay, then crashing testing is totally automated in automobile industry. Crash testing, not in India, okay, but in abroad. Okay, so then Tesla car is now under way of smart manufacturing of those cars, and then manufacturing develop use of that product.
ओके सर, थँक्यू.
Yeah.
And I like that slide of yours, sir, in which you said the smart technologies are basic part of Industry 4.0 design
Yeah,
principles. So that really forms the crux of this revolution, I hope.
yeah, yeah,
So if there are no queries,
yeah.
uh,
Oh,
let us, is there anyone? Please unmute your mic and please ask. कोणी आहे का तिकडे चौधरी सर? नाही आहे ना कोणाचं? ओके.
नाही सर.
सर्व आपल्या सर्व पार्टिसिपंट्सना मी सांगू इच्छितो की आज आपल्या जोशी सरांच्या बद्दल आभार व्यक्त करण्यासाठी माझ्याजवळ शब्द नाही आहेत, कारण काही वैयक्तिक अडचणींमुळे त्यांचं लेक्चर होऊ शकेल किंवा नाही अशी थोडीशी शक्यता निर्माण झाली होती. आणि त्यांना तसं विचारणंही मला संयुक्तिक वाटत नव्हतं, पण सरांना समहाऊ रिक्वेस्ट केली की पाऊण तास 1 तास तरी घ्या. आणि इतकं रंगलं छान सरांचं भाषण, म्हणजे ही मैफिल त्यांची अजून दिवसभर चालू शकते. परंतु आपल्याला वेळेअभावी आणि आपले पुढील जे वक्ते आहेत बंगलोरहून जॉईन होणार आहेत, तर आपल्याला हे थांबवणं कुठेतरी आवश्यक होतं. पुढे केव्हा तरी जरूर आपल्याला संधी येईल जोशी सरांना ऐकण्याची. तर मी सरांचे माझा आवाज येत नाही वाटतं का?
येतोय येतोय, मला येतोय.
येतोय सर,
येतोय
येतोय.
येतोय हा येतोय
येतोय.
हा. तर जोशी सरांबद्दल कृतज्ञता व्यक्त करतो. 2 सेशन सर आपण घेतले आणि एक ज्येष्ठ टीचर, एक खराखुरा टीचर ऑनलाईन मोडमध्ये सुद्धा कसं शिकवावं याचं एक चांगलं वस्तुपाठ तुम्ही आम्हा शिक्षकांना सुद्धा दिलेला आहे. तर वी आर रिअली moved and touched by your gesture. Thank you once again on behalf of my institute. Thanks once again.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Thank you for calling me. And this participation can go ahead through internships and various such aspects, if possible. Okay. So I am
Yes.
available. So thanks a lot. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thanks once
Okay.
again.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
May I just our participants